Hi, Ethan. Thank you for being a part of the Unstoppable Together, The Future is Accessible mini series. We are excited to hear your perspective on leadership, advocacy, and the future of disability justice. I am Taylor Lee, and I am the Colorado Cross Disability Coalition's leadership and advocacy intern, and I am excited to get to know you better. So, do you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, thank you for the invite. First of all, my name is Ethan Beaudoin. I go by PJE. I am a 30-year-old male wheelchair user. I'm currently wearing a white stretch collared shirt with purple blue pants with black trim glasses and a shaved head and a shaved beard.
Thank you for that.
Yes,
A-
and yeah, so
And tell us more about where are you in your advocacy and how did you get there?
I've been living with a physical disability my entire life. Um, I live with a rare nerve condition that impacts my mobility, and so my mobility has gotten worse over the years, requiring different needs and more advanced mobility devices and breathing support. I use a
Mhm.
tracheostomy for breathing support because of my physical condition. But it really started when I was when I was in college. I saw a lot of architectural barriers in my university, and opening my eyes to architectural barriers in the rooms. And being a DJ, there's a lot of architecture and event-based barriers that made it hard for me to perform at events and other events with disability challenges that made it hard to navigate and enjoy the performance. So my journey began there and then progressed through the Netflix
Accessible miniseries.
series and into my master's degree program today. Just recently finished my got a master's degree in communication and leadership studies.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And we are asking people to imagine the future. So I'd like to start there. What does an accessible future look like to you, and how can we get there together?
So I want to point out, first of all, that accessibility is oftentimes viewed as a political agenda where many businesses are afraid to talk about it out of fear of offending people, facing lawsuits for no action, and they just don't feel like they know how to talk about it. But in reality, we all live with disabilities at some point in our life, whether they're temporal, situational, or permanent. And so accessibility goes beyond traditional public spaces. They go to online spaces which in a digital world are increasingly more online than we've ever been before in our US history. And so for me, I wanted to kind of educate people that it's more than compliance with our ADA law and acts, and there's more to have a sense of inclusion, acceptance, and belonging, and that we as human beings create belonging, interaction, sociability, and all that. So when we think of accessibility, just thinking about how people are engaged in events, experiences, people work opportunities, regardless of skills or education background, we're just giving people the opportunity to thrive in their own environments and to contribute to society and our humanity.
Yeah, that's lovely. Wow. Doing big things.
Yes,
And so, what would you like to see change in the next 5 years?
I want people to realize that um, accessibility benefits everyone, not just people living with disabilities. Because as I mentioned, temporary or situational disabilities can include breaking a limb, using crutches, using a walker, using a cane, cognitive disabilities, visual or low vision disabilities, wearing glasses, wearing hearing aids. Those are all disabilities because they prevent and impact us from performing our daily activities in the way that we know. So I want people to have a more open mindset on how they view disability and that accessibility can benefit them and benefit their social goals and help even improve their business.
And who do you think needs to be at the table to make that vision real?
I think everyone, particularly people living with disabilities and people living with quote unquote different abilities that we are often ostracized and stigmatized and think that we're not always taking enough to engage in these conversations, but the people that are most impacted by them should address them or should be welcome to the table. Because a lot of these people making decisions are traditionally corporate CEOs who are often older white men who are in their later years and they don't know necessarily what impacts everybody. So I feel like speaking on their behalf is unethical and unprofessional and giving diverse perspectives is beneficial because it helps everyone and everyone wins.
Hmm. And let's talk about leadership and voice. Why is it important that people with disabilities lead the way when creating uh, accessible communities and policies?
I think it's really, I don't think, I know it's important because we experience these challenges every day, whereas some people non-disabled, they don't experience challenges every day. They may break a bone or stub their toe or something that may prevent performance activities from being fulfilled for them. But that may be a run-up scenario where people living with disabilities like you and me and other peers really live these challenges every day, and so for people to not take us seriously or accept our experiences as real and just put them off to the side is unethical because they're disrespecting more deserving their communities and their businesses by not taking our concerns seriously, understanding our concerns, understanding our concerns, understanding how their systems or processes impact other activities and that by listening to people that experience them, they gain new insights, new information, and new realities that can change design, development, production, implementation, and eventually global deployment that can happen.
Yeah. How would you what kind of advice would you give someone who is just learning to use their voice in this movement?
I think it's all about mindset. In reality, it's not so much about what product you're looking. It's that everyone's voice matters in every situation. That's what makes us human. And that's why everyone on this planet is really different. And that's what makes this world a better place. That's what makes this world a more challenging place. Is that people don't always believe our opinions, beliefs, perspectives, and all that stuff. So more so just finding the thing to the courage to my experiences matter. If I don't speak up, then I don't need changes to change around my communities, and some people choose silence. You know, the culture, we use a lot of other title factors that prevent them from speaking up, such as finding the into a belief and trusting that's not easy to practice. I face challenges like that for years where I didn't feel confident, comfortable, but then as you engage with people and they see your challenges firsthand, and they will genuinely for relational conversations with each other. They make sense to have a community and they understand each other. And so being able to have conversations and build a community will lead to more positive moments.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. That's some great advice. And anything else that you'd like to share with our audience before we end today?
I want to know this. People view accessibility and diversity and inclusion as a cause and not a movement. And I think that's the wrong mindset to take just causes are more so meant for one-off events where you raise or gain traction or community for one particular thing that's maybe proactive for maybe an activity or business goal. But this is a movement because as we get older, body change and we need more support and more mobility devices to help us do things that we love and live that we want to do. And so being able to view this as a movement versus as programs.
Yeah. Something I just thought of too is since you are a DJ,
Yeah,
what do you think about being active in the arts? What does that do for you?
it's really meaningful to me because as a person living with disabilities and I've talked to others about this, we have to present ourselves in different ways to gain credibility and show authenticity. We view as competent to communities and professionals, and the arts serve as a way for us to express ourselves and show our feelings, show our emotions, and then in turn present that and show the energy in other communities.
Thank you, Ethan, for being a part of the Unstoppable Together. The future is accessible. We appreciate you sharing your voice and vision with us today. You truly embody what it means to be unstoppable. And if you want to learn more about Ethan and any of our other incredible advocates, please follow us, join us on our other social media platforms. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and YouTube. And you can find us at CCDC Online, again, at CCDC Online, or you can check out our website at www.ccdconline.org. Thank you so much. And remember, nothing about us without us.